Hi everybody, today we're going to talk about 5 ways in which mentally strong people overcome rejection. Now, how many of you have been rejected before? I know I have. I've been rejected so many times, I can't even count. And so I've had to find ways to deal with rejection in a positive manner so that I don't get to the depression stage. So in this video, you're going to learn 5 ways where strong people overcome rejection. And tip number 1 is strong people acknowledge their emotions. Rather than suppress the anger, deny the pain, the mentally strong people acknowledge their emotions. They say, oh, I felt embarrassed, I felt sad. They're not scared to say that, like, this is unbelievable. I just wanted the ground to open up and swallow me alive. They say all those things. They acknowledge it because they know it happens and it's not a good feeling, and they have confidence in that. And when they do that, when they acknowledge the emotions, that's when they find a way to deal with it and overcome it. So don't be afraid of your emotions. Even when you feel embarrassed, sad, just know it's normal and try and deal with it with the knowledge that you're feeling that the way you're feeling. So tip number 2 would be they review rejection as evidence that they are pushing the limits. It's a proof, rejection is a proof that you're living your life to the fullest, that you've tried, at least you tried, you didn't sit back and just wait, like the timid masses. No, you went ahead and did it. So that is living proof that at least you tried something, and that should be comfort. That should be it should be a motivating factor, if you ask me. Because I remember I tried to audition for music, competition, and I went to the first stage, I got through, went to the second stage, I got through. The third stage, I couldn't go through. And you know what I said? I said, you know what? I'm glad I went through all those steps. Even if I didn't make it, I'm just glad that at least I tried, for crying out loud. So I pat myself on the back and I was like, you know what? You did your best, and it's good in itself, So it's actually normal. So the third thing is that the mentally strong people treat themselves with compassion, They don't go beating themselves up and saying, oh, you're stupid, oh, you know what, you should have done this better, oh, you know what, everything it's in their head. No. They adjust themselves and they treat themselves with kindness and compassion, and they know all these things happen, and it happens for a reason. Rejection also happens for a reason. You could be rejected for this and being prepared for something even better. So you just don't be too hard on yourself, because better things are on their way to come. And another thing is, like, the strong people, the mentally strong people, refuse to let rejection define them. No, rejection doesn't define me. If a company turns me down for a job, I don't declare myself incompetent, no. Or even if a love interest rejects me, no, I don't declare myself as ugly or unlovable or, all those things. No. First of all, I acknowledge that, oh, okay, maybe I'm not that type, or maybe that's not what they're looking for. Knowing that there's someone better for me who's gonna come along, and knowing that I'm gonna get a better, more fulfilling job than this. So basically, rejection shouldn't define you in any way. It doesn't mean that when you're rejected, then you're no longer useful. No, on the contrary. Alright. The second thing is that, the last thing The last thing, tip number 5, would be that mentally strong people learn from rejection. They treat it as a lesson. And they ask themselves, like, what did I gain from this? Rather than simply tolerating the pain, they ask themselves, what good could come out of this? Am I going to turn this into an opportunity so that I can, grow? Am I going to become stronger and better? And that reminds me of the saying that goes, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. So that's it, even with rejection. Like, when you get rejected is when you get the vigor to go ahead and just be the best of the best. Like, that is like an opportunity that shows up, that tells you to even keep on fighting harder, So with rejection, you learn that there are areas in your life that needs improvement. Then you go back to the drawing board. You sit down, you ask yourself, okay, where did I go wrong? Or what am I not doing? Or how can I do it better? And you start recognizing those bits about yourself that if this rejection wouldn't have happened, then you wouldn't have taken the chance. I will tell you for a fact, I went to audition for TED Talks and I pitched my idea. Gladly so, I was confident in it. But they're only selecting 4 people who would be able to make it for the TED Talk at Stormont. So I wasn't picked. I got the email and I was like, wow, I felt rejected, no lie. But not for a second this time did I let it define me. And as a mentally strong person, I overcame the rejection and decided, wow, let me start doing my YouTube videos. And that's why I'm doing this one, so that I can encourage you to let rejection not define you. So thank you very much. Click subscribe to my channel, like, share, and possibly come along with me in this journey that I've just started, because I'm just tired of rejection and I'm not gonna let it define me. Thank you.